Hello everyone, this video will go through the story of Watch Dogs Trilogy. In 2012, Aiden Pierce, along with Damian Branks, hacked into the Merlot Hotel Chicago in order to siphon people's bank accounts. They abort mission as being interrupted by some technical failure. Some days later, while driving with his niece, Aiden's car tires are shot by the hitman, which causes the car drifted and rolled upside down. Aiden's niece Lena is killed, and he is set out for revenge. 11 months later, Aiden tracks down hitman Maurice Vega in a stadium and interrogates him for the name of his employer. Vega claims that he doesn't know and attempts to attack Aiden in his distraction, but Aiden subdues him with baton. After the gunfight with gangsters, he meets with his associate Jordy Chin, leaves Vega to Jordy, and escapes the stadium. Aiden finds his sister Nico harassed by some prank call, which makes her distressed. Aiden then tracks the number and pursues the caller. After catching this man, he hacks his phone, learning that someone put him up to this. He gives the information to Bad Boy 17, his contact in DedSec, a secret hacking collective, in hopes of figuring it out. After Aiden breaks into the CTOS center, Bad Boy 17 is able to track down the source of the call. He asks Aiden to meet him in person, and Aiden discovers that he is actually Clara Lade, a female hacker masquerading as a male. Clara updates Aiden's profiler with DedSec level system hacks, and initiates an official partnership with him. They eventually pinpoint the source of the call, but to Aiden's surprise, he finds that the one who ordered harassment of Nico is his former partner Damian, who intentionally makes Aiden track and meet him. Damian revealed that there was a third hacker at the Merlot job, other than Aiden and himself. As he is crippled in the aftermath of Merlot job, Damian proposes they become partners again, in revenge on the third hacker, which is rejected by Aiden. Damian calls Aiden and hacks the ERS TV to show himself in Nico's kitchen. Enraged, Aiden arrives at Nico's house, and after physically assaulting Damian, he discovers that Damian has kidnapped Nico and threatens to kill her in order to blackmail Aiden into cooperating with him. Upon returning to his motel room, Aiden checks the files in the flash drive Damian gave him. Clara enters as he has asked for her help. After showing Clara the IP address Damian gave him and explaining his current situation, Aiden senses his room being intruded. Some armed men shoot at him through the window, and they too escape through the back door as Aiden detonates the explosive to destroy all evidence of his investigation. By killing the attackers outside, Aiden escorts Clara to safety. Having lost his base and all of his equipment, Aiden is informed by Clara of a bunker, the first CTOS testing site, which is a blind spot in the system. By hacking and intimidating the only person who has the access to the bunker, Tobias Frua, Aiden gets the remote to the bunker's bridge. He and Clara get into the bunker, restore its power, and get it back online. After tracking the IP address, Clara discovers that it originates in Rosie Freeman, a district controlled by street gang Black Viceroys. Aiden ventures into the Black Viceroy's compound and hacks the CTOS tower there. Then back to the bunker, he and Clara uses his CTOS access to overwatch inside Rosie Freeman. A gangster named Iraq emerges from the server room where the IP address is located. He has a brief conversation on the phone with Lucky Queen, the leader of Chicago South Club, a powerful crime syndicate in Chicago. After being angrily questioned by Queen, Iraq kills one of his men, which scares his cousin beside, Bedbug. Aiden tracks this Bedbug and finds him disloyal to Iraq, and Iraq wants to kill him. From an informant Rabbit, Aiden learned that an ambush has been set for Bedbug in a closed down Sienna brick factory. Aiden goes in first and sets up a trap for the hitman so that it looks like Bedbug has murdered them all. Now Bedbug has no other choice but to help Aiden infiltrate Rosie Freeman. He tells Aiden that the only way to approach Iraq is at an auction, and Clara proposes that she can copy Iraq's RFID chip if he gets close enough. By impersonating one of the auction guests, Nicholas Crispin, Aiden enters the auction, in which all the merchandise are young girls. He meets Iraq, who is about to leave Queen. Aiden approaches him and hacks his dog tags, allowing Clara to obtain the RFID. Lucky Queen, however, suspects Aiden's true identity. Aiden then gets past the Viceroy security guards and escapes. Aiden now continues his job by guiding Bedbug to the server room. Bedbug opens the room with the key hacked from Iraq, but he is interrupted by Iraq and his bodyguard when he is downloading the data. Though mission failed, some incomplete data is downloaded to the bunker, which Clara claims can only be decrypted by Raymond Kenny, a former CTOS engineer and its creator who has been living a low-profile life after whistleblowing some scandal of the Bloom company. Aiden tells Damien about his plan and traces Kenny to a small town, Pony, where a man named T-Bone fights Aiden upon hearing his intention to fight Kenny. After learning that Aiden's purpose is to revenge for his niece, T-Bone reveals himself as Kenny and agrees to help Aiden, only if Aiden can upload the virus into the Bloom database, which will wipe his signal from it and allow him to show up in Chicago. Aiden then sneaks into the Bloom headquarters and successfully uploads the virus. However, through cameras, he sees a meeting between the company's director and Damien, who offers to exchange Kenny's whereabouts for total access to the CTOS. Aiden rushes out and races to Kenny's hideout. They two defend themselves from arriving militiamen, blow up the hideout, and then head for the bunker in Chicago. Though skeptical of Damien's betrayal at first, Kenny agrees to help them after Clara pleads him to stay. Now what they need is to go back to server room in Rosie Frame again and retrieve the whole data. Aiden enters there, wiping out any resistance and downloads the data. On his way out, he encounters Iraq in person, who is determined to kill Aiden for the damage he has done to him. They fight on the rooftop and 2 Iraqis kill there. However, as soon as they get the data, the bunker is hacked by another hacker, D4. D4 steals the data and erases it on Aiden's machine. He also sends an audio file which shows that Clara was hired by someone to trace Aiden and Damien after the murder job. Though Clara knows nothing about her employer, Aiden rudely tells her to go away. Kenny tracks D4 and reveals his cover, a DJ working in a nightclub. Aiden goes there, downloads back all the data and subdues D4 while he is escaping. By analyzing an audio piece of the phone call from Nico, Kenny finds where Damien has kept her, a wastewater treating plant in Brandon Docks. Aiden sneaks in there, rescues Nico and drives her and her son out of town. At last, Kenny finds out that the man who ordered the attack on Aiden after the murder job was Lucky Quinn, who actually owns the murder hotel. When Aiden confronts him in the hotel, Quinn is standing behind a bulletproof glass. Aiden, however, hacks his pacemaker, causing him to collapse due to a heart attack. While dying, Quinn shows to Aiden a video of Mayor Rushmore murdering a girl named Rose Washington. He's been using the video as blackmail to control the mayor, and mistakenly thought that Aiden and Damien's murder job was to after this video. Aiden then receives a call from Damien that he has revealed Clara's identity to Chicago South Club. When Aiden finds her at Lena's grave, Clara is putting a flower for her regret having worked for Lena's killer, and she is shot by the hitman. Aiden goes to the lighthouse where he accuses Damien of having played him and made Clara killed. Aiden's associate Jordy, however, appears and asks Aiden to drop his gun as he has got a new contract. Aiden uses the profiler to blow up the light, knocking Jordy down and throwing him over the railing. Then he quickly shoots Damien in the head. In 2016, Marcus Holloway, with his hacker name Rachel, is punished for a crime he did not commit through CTOS. Then he decides to join the secret hacking group DedSec by conducting an initiation test by hacking a Bloom server farm in San Francisco to wipe his profile from the system. He sneaks into the Bloom company, secretly incapacitates the security guards inside, and causes the blackout. Marcus overrides the security routine in Server L, which grants him the privilege to enter the system room, where he erased the CTOS profile. Though he is spotted by 2 guards on his way out, Marcus hacks the door open and escapes successfully. However, he is hooded by the head upon reaching outside. The men kidnapping him turn out to be the DedSec members Sitara, Josh, Horatio, and Ranch. They congratulate Marcus on his being accepted into their organization, and then the group spend a cheerful night on the riverbank. When Marcus wakes up the next morning, he is informed to meet his comrade at the DedSec hackerspace. There, the DedSec members explain to him their cause, to bring down corrupted organizations like Bloom Company, which covertly harms innocent citizens across the city. In order to boost their popularity on social media, the DedSec members plan to use a new generation car, the Cyber Driver, which is used in a popular movie. Marcus sneaks into the movie studio and steals it, after which, the DedSec members renovate it with the symbol and add a Wi-Fi routing system which enables the car to be remotely controlled by cell phone apps. By controlling the car racing in the city with police in pursuit, the DedSec successfully make themselves famous over the internet. Cetara suspects a religious cult in San Francisco, New Dawn, a corrupt scam which intimidates people into their practices for their money. Besides peaceful demonstration, the DedSec wants to do more. Marcus impersonating himself as a New Dawn member to give an order to actor Jimmy Sisker, who is one of their members. From Sisker, Marcus learns about a place called Red Room, where the cult members are rumored to have been detained. Sneaking inside, Marcus finds and imprisons Sisker again and saves him. Then Sisker tells Marcus about some Sumerian tablets which New Dawn uses to gather faith from their cult members. Marcus sneaks into the temple, and by exposing on social media that tablets are counterfeit, New Dawn collapses. Home 2.0, a new home automation operating system, is newly announced by their CEO, Steven Bader, who publicly challenges DedSec to hack their new OS. In response, DedSec steals a Home 2.0 pre-order shipment to test the 0-day in a sample smart home. They discover a secret server hidden away inside the home, which is actually a relay point, sending collected information offsite. Marcus goes downtown to the home data center, hacks the data and finds that the home operates with health insurance companies, and gets kicked back by selling information on customers' habits. Then the members head to a tower, where Marcus hacks the TV satellite dish atop the tower to intercept a live TV show of Home, making Bader humiliated. Bader then complains to the CTO of Bloom Company to send Namek for not enough technical support. Josh informs DedSec that a large portion of DedSec followers' number on social media invite are fake or inactive accounts. Fearing of having been set up, Marcus sneaks into the invite headquarters and finds out that Namek was responsible for this. Namek also puts a warrant out for Marcus' arrest, now making him the most wanted man in the city. Then Marcus escapes the swarm of police surrounding the building. Getting desperate, DedSec heads to a hacking contest in the outskirts of the city. There, Marcus accidentally meets Raymond Kenny, a former engineer in Bloom Company and creator of CTOS, but he has become the company's top enemy after he whistleblowed some scandal of Bloom. Marcus invites him to DedSec hackerspace and introduces him to the rest of the members. Kenny helps to discover that Bloom uses the data coming from Noodle Search to power Bellwether, a behavior prediction software integrated in CTOS. As Horatio is an employee in Noodle, he helps Marcus sneak into Noodle headquarters, hack into the server farm, and install a backdoor on the central server. Meanwhile, Namek meets with Lenny, the leader of Prime 8, another hacker group, priming her against the DedSec. Lenny then hacks the DedSec network and implants an encryption key to lock them out. She tells Marcus that she wants DedSec to make a self-depreciating video, or she will hack their main server and release personal data. Marcus scans Lenny's arm implants and sneaks into the hidden Prime 8 bunker where he acquires the decryption key. An angry Lenny initiates a self-destruct sequence that will make the bunker blow in 5 minutes, but Marcus solves the puzzle and escapes there. DedSec finds himself being watched by someone. Marcus goes out, discovering that the FBI is behind this. A local councilwoman, Miranda, informs Marcus that the FBI is going hard after hackers in an attempt to obtain all the 0-day from them. Then Marcus heads to the FBI building in Oakland, planting a transceiver on an antenna on the building's roof. While doing so, Marcus finds Ranch go dark. The data received from transceiver reveals the location of Ranch, in a small bunker, detained and questioned by FBI agent. Namek walks in, asking Ranch about Marcus and DedSec, but he keeps silent, which makes Namek eventually let him go. Some days later, Cetara calls Marcus that Horatio has also gone dark. Then he goes to Horatio's last known location, where he only finds Horatio's phone. The footage from nearby surveillance camera reveals Horatio was kidnapped by a member of Tezcos, a local criminal gang. When Marcus tracks them to a house and sees Horatio on the ground, it's too late. The video in the phone reveals Taskos trying to obtain information regarding DedSec from Horatio, who refuses to give up and is beaten until unable to move. Then Marcus goes to Taskos' basement and neutralizes all the responsible gang members. Kenny conceives a plan for retaliation when he and Marcus are watching the Galilee rocket launch as it carries Bloom's satellite. Marcus sneaks into Galilee and implants a virus module onto the motherboard on the next satellite to be launched. Then they gain access through the satellite to Bloom Delaware data center, where they download all the information. Kenny discovers that a satellite backbone gives Bloom the ability to bypass network through the cables, and many big companies, New York Stock Exchange and the US government are handing over their data to Bloom. Analyzing into the data reveals that a congressman is working with giant tech companies to rig election, which DedSec exposes on their propaganda video. Wrench learns about CTOS working on a 10-year plan with robot company Titties. Kenny then suggests a way to get into Titties by using Wrench's beloved home robot, Junior. They dump Junior into Titties' repair depot, where Marcus has remote control over it, guiding it through Titties' robot processing plant and reach the server room. Then Junior detonates the EMP, which facilitates Marcus to infiltrate the building. After Marcus discovers the 10-year plan in a prototype lab, using militarized robots to control the public, he takes control of one of the prototypes, destroying the processing plant. A Chinese gang, Anti-Sue Boys, is smuggling hackers into the Bay Area to gain access to CTOS and make a match on the New York Stock Exchange, which Bloom Company ignores for unknown reasons. Marcus infiltrates an Anti-Sue Boys barge and airlifts the server using Josh's drone. But Bloom soon announces the attack by Chinese hackers and essentially advertises their satellite pipeline plan, which will grant them more privilege to overwatch private data transfer. Satara heads to the top of an apartment of a high-ranking Bloom employee and hacks the CTOS box, allowing her to gain access to the camera inside the building, which reveals the employee has betrayed the MAC under the order of Invite CEO Mary Caskill. Then Marcus heads to the Bloom headquarters, using a door code Satara acquired to enter the building. He downloads the data from Bloom's air-gapped server, which contains all the evidence of Bloom's illegal conduct. Some days later, Marcus and Kenny find the MAC in his hotel room, taunting him over their victory. As soon as they leave, a few police officers come, arresting the MAC. The London branch of DedSec, led by Sabina Brandt and her pirated and modified AI Bagley, detect armed intruders planting bombs in the Palace of Westminster. Sabina assigns DedSec operative Dalton Wolf to defuse the bombs. As he attempts to do so, DedSec is attacked by unidentified intruders, similar to those detected in Parliament. As a result, in order to protect DedSec assets, Sabina is forced to shut down Bagley, forcing Dalton to defuse the bombs without the AI. Although he is able to defuse the bombs on the roof of Parliament, he quickly discovers that the perpetrator behind the bombings is an anonymous rock hacker group called Zero Day, and that there are more bombings planted around London. Zero Day's leader kills Dalton on the roof, as multiple bombs elsewhere in London are detonated, which kills thousands of people. In the wake of the chaos, the British government contracted Nigel Cass, the CEO of private military company Albion, with restoring order to London. As he received the mandate and the key to the city, Cass vows to hunt the remaining branch of DedSec, blaming them for the bombings. However, this also causes social and political unrest among the population of London, because Albion is in full control of the law, effectively transforming London into a surveillance state with the aid of Signal's intelligence response. DedSec slowly begins to reappear after Sabina is able to find a new recruit with the city's CTOS, successfully persuading her to reactivate Group's safe house, as well as Bagley, and eventually join DedSec. Sabina assigns her to find new recruits around London to rebuild resistance, liberating city boroughs in the process by encouraging citizens to rise up in defiance of their oppressors and to ultimately discover the true identity of Zero Day. During their investigation, the group discovered that both Nigel Cass and Mary Kelly, boss of the crime syndicate Clan Kelly, profited from the bombings, and that each party are using the current situation to their own advantages. They discovered that Metropolitan Police Inspector Caitlin Lau had been investigating Mary Kelly for a while, suspecting her for human trafficking with the aid of Albion and European Processing Center. After realizing that former DedSec operative Angel Lopez had been previously detained at a European Processing Center, DedSec attempted to find him before Clan Kelly reveals his identity. DedSec discovered that Mary Kelly had been kidnapping people, using them as personal servants, or simply harvesting their organs and selling them instead. While infiltrating Southwark Incinerator to find Angel, DedSec crosses paths with Inspector Lau as she was about to be harvested for her own organs. She is saved by DedSec, and DedSec also offers to help recover her files that will help implicate Mary Kelly for various crimes. In the midst of this, DedSec discovers Angel, and unfortunately, they reach him too late as he is found dead. Following Angel's death, DedSec agrees to place Mary Kelly as one of their priority targets. As they prepare to infiltrate an upcoming slave auction hosted by Kelly, they investigate other happenings around London. DedSec detects a new anonymous group on the rise called 404. 404 offers contracts to people of London to help secure data for them, and Sabina suggests that DedSec infiltrates 404 and retrieve its assets. Upon further investigation, 404 discovers she has a connection with DedSec and reveals herself to be Note. On the topic of contracts, Note directs DedSec to the GBB house, where a presentation by Broca-Tech CEO Sky Lawson is being shown. After hacking into the conference room's security cameras, DedSec discovered that Sky is unveiling a new project called Daybreak, which plans to use technology that transfers people's brains into neural mapping AI. Note insists that DedSec investigates Sky's home. After infiltrating Sky's home and her secret underground laboratory, DedSec discovers the dangerous potential of neural mapping AI technology, as shown by how Sky transferred her own mother into her house AI. After putting Sky's mother out of her misery, DedSec agrees to stop Sky. Having infiltrated Compton Lab at Blue Complex, they meet Sky Lawson in her neural mapping AI form. DedSec shuts down the upload, effectively killing her in the process. After settling with Sky Lawson, DedSec continues to investigate Albion. They discover that Cass is planning to unveil a new project called Themis, which will implement drones around London that will supposedly eliminate citizens that are about to commit a crime, even if the crime had not occurred yet. Despite inside arguments claiming that the project infringed on London's laws, Cass continues with the project. With the aid of one of Cass's former friends, Hamish Balaji, DedSec is able to erase Themis project data, hampering Cass's progress in it. DedSec is then contacted by Richard Malik, a member of Signal Intelligence Response, who has a lead on Zero Day, although his information seems true and implicates SIRS current head Emily Child for the bombings. Child is quickly to inform DedSec that Malik had been lying all this time, or to infiltrate DedSec and let them be easily haunted by Albion. Child and DedSec forms a plan, with DedSec meeting Malik at Canada House to allow Child's sniper to kill him. However, Malik is able to get away and detonates a bomb in the Canada House, killing Child and once again implicating DedSec for the bombing. Due to Child's death, Malik is able to take over as the head of SIRS. With Bagley's help, DedSec is able to expose Malik's role in the Canada House bombing and also capture him for interrogation. But he is not part of Zero Day. With the slave auction around the corner, DedSec infiltrates the auction. They are able to shut down the microchip implanted in every kidnapped slave, liberating them from Kelly's clutches. When Inspector Caitlin Lau arrives on the scene to arrest Kelly thanks to all the evidence collected by DedSec, she is persuaded to allow Kelly's former slave to beat her up and kill her, as they both realize that Kelly will still get away with her actions had she been arrested instead. After settling Mary Kelly, DedSec locates a recording equipment, through which they learn that Cass partnered with Zero Day to gain control over London. With the help of Hamish, DedSec exposes this to the public. Despite for the court to arrest Cass, Cass publicly announces that he will be killing anyone trying to stop him, which forces DedSec to go after him. DedSec confronts Cass at the Tower of London, defeating his prototype and Cass himself. As DedSec celebrates her actions, Zero Day suddenly hacks the group, stealing the tech they had acquired. Tracing the hack, they quickly discovered that Sabina was behind the bombing and Zero Day, and Cass worked alongside her until he double-crossed her for control of important technology. In response, Sabina sought to restart DedSec simply to get revenge on Cass, recover what he stole, and seek out other components she needed. As the group evaded Sabina's efforts to stop them, DedSec discovered that she intends to use the technology she stole to create a patch that will link a series of AI to Bagley and use the AI to plunge the country into chaos as part of a plan to force society to forego technology and restart. To prevent this, Bagley willingly agrees to be shut down and assigns DedSec to complete a task amongst the rampant chaos across the city. The group successfully shut down Bagley, preventing the patch being sent out. Meanwhile, when confronting Sabina on the Bloom Tower, they force her to fall from the panel,